Hello everyone, today we are looking at a legend in the watch community. We're taking a look at the Casio AE1200, aka the Casio Royale. This Casio is really well regarded in the budget watch community because it packs a huge amount of features into a very small price tag. This watch is often referred to as a Casio Royale because it looks like a Seiko that was worn by Roger Moore in the film Octopussy. And Roger Moore is obviously the best James Bond. You might be thinking, well, why is it not called the Octopussy then? Not a great name for a watch. And I think Casio Royale, Casino Royale, you can see what people have done there. In the UK, this watch is going to cost you about £25 to £30. 25 if you get a good deal, £30 if you just buy it normally. In America, you're looking at about $30 to $40 for this, and it's a great watch for the price. There are a few variations on this watch. Obviously, they've all got the same module. I've got the silver one here with the stainless steel bracelet. There is a black variation, which comes with a rubber strap. And more recently, Casio have released some that come with leather straps as well. Now, I happen to think this silver one with the stainless steel bracelet is the best bang for the buck. I think it looks the best as well. You've got a stainless steel bracelet with folded links. Obviously, you can see those folded links there. And by and large, this bracelet is pretty good. You've got 4 positions of micro adjustment there to get the fit just right. And the clasp locks in pretty well. I will say, I think it could clasp a little bit tighter, but that's me really nitpicking on this watch. In terms of the actual case of the watch itself, it isn't stainless steel, so we have got a resin case and then it's painted silver. Now, I've got a bit of a beef when Casio do this, and I think they could sell a lot more if they made this with a steel case, because once this paint starts to come off, there's no going back. There's no reviving these watches. And it does start to look kind of cheap and a bit rubbish. So if you're wearing it every day, you're probably not going to get more than a year or so if you're fairly heavy-handed, which is a shame because it's a lovely watch. But obviously, you could pick up a new case or whatever that is. We've got an acrylic crystal, which I like on a cheap Casio just because you can fix them up quite nicely. In terms of the main screen then, we have an analog clock in the top left, which is quite hard to see. The hands are very thin on that, but that always tells the current time. We've got the world map here, which indicates which time zone you're currently in. This top window here, which has got nothing in it, will indicate whether the watch is in mute mode, and then you've got the time and day and date here. Now on the home screen, you can have 4 time zones set. So I've got my second time zone set to New York City, third one to Athens, and the fourth one to Paris. So you can have those instantly accessible using this search button. In the rest of the modes, we have the more extended world time mode, which has got absolutely boatloads of different times for cities around the world in there. The next mode along is the alarm. So there are 5 alarms on this watch. So that's alarm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we also have the hourly chime feature bundled in with the alarm here, which is a useful feature. Love that on Casios. We've then got a timer feature and a stopwatch, and then back to the home screen. We've also got a rather good light on this. See that there? I've set mine to 1 second, but that can also be set to 3 seconds. So it is absolutely packed with features. Now, I think this might just about be the perfect holiday watch. Now, because it's so packed with features, it's going to come in useful for things like when you're using the timer. Maybe you've parked the car somewhere and you're on a certain amount of time. Obviously, the 100 meters of water resistance is great for the pool. It isn't overly expensive, so if it gets damaged or anything like that, you're not going to worry. I just think it's a really, really good holiday watch. And if you just want to take one watch on holiday, it's very good because it looks quite good casually and you could wear it going out as well. Now, I will say I think this watch is slightly overhyped. So if you search around the watch community, you're going to get pretty much every single channel out there, and every single person that's into watches is going to tell you this is probably the best watch at this budget. I think it's a good watch, really, really good watch. I don't know if it's quite the best couple of things sort of holding me off that is I think there's a lot of screen space that's wasted. I don't think the map is particularly useful. The analog time is quite difficult to see, and I've obviously got the problem with the case wearing away. Don't have it on here because I haven't worn this one that much, and it's quite a chunky beast as well. So I'm not going to give it the absolute best at the budget, but it is a very, very good watch. You also see quite a lot of people modding these, so they'll switch the strap out, maybe get a NATO strap on there, or they'll start to remove some of the text on here and make it their own, which I really like. It's nice to see people making these Casios into completely unique watches in their own right. So here is the AE1200 on my wrist. So generally, I think it fits pretty well on the wrist. It feels quite snug on there. Just due to that added depth, it does stand out a little bit, but generally I think it fits my 6.75-inch wrist really well. It does slide under jumpers and shirts and things like that, but it feels a little bit bigger than some of my other watches. Classic clasp scratches there, so I work on a laptop quite a lot, and I find this watch does hit that laptop quite a bit while I'm using it, but that happens on pretty much every stainless steel watch that I've got. So generally on the wrist, I think it looks good and it wears well. My final thoughts on the Casio AE1200. This is a very, very good watch that does a hell of a lot of stuff for a very small price tag. I think it's pretty much the perfect holiday watch because it packs those features in, because it wears well. It's going to look good casual. It's going to look good if you're on the night out as well. I think you can wear this on a night out, maybe not with a suit, but generally I think it looks pretty well most of the time. And it does just so much stuff. So I wouldn't hesitate to recommend this watch to anyone. I just don't think it's the perfect watch that it often gets made out to be.